Cedric, look in the camera and Slate, one clap, please.
All right, Denzel interview, take one.
Hey, can we get that boom in the middle? Keep it shit closer.
In the way.
Hi, my name is Jajaun Jennings,
And I'm Cedric Williams.
and welcome to PVAMU TV. Now, today, you guys, we have a extra special guest. We have Denzel Whitaker here.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
I'm so excited. We're so excited. So,
Yes, sir.
I want you to go first.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. So, out of all of the roles that you played in everything that you've been in, what was the cringiest role that you've been in?
Cringiest.
Cringiest.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. Cringiest.
Cringy?
I once did an underwater movie called Submerged.
Okay.
And that was where it was me and maybe like a gang of 7 people, give or take, right? We're all in the back of this limousine. Now, this limousine, we get caught in the crossfire, some dangers, some stuff that's out of our hands. The limo careens off the highway and plummets into the ocean, and then it literally submerges underwater. I can't swim. So that is very cringy for me to be in a limo movie hypothetically underwater where we did multiple scenes where I'm supposed to be swimming to the top and you know, my first day showing up, I was supposed to be dead underwater. Next thing you know, they fill the entire limo with water and we're like trying to fight our way out. And I can't swim. So that's just cringy for me. Other than that, working with like tons of fake blood. I once did a Wes Craven film called the working title was 25-8. It came out as My Soul to Take.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So My Soul to Take, where I got stabbed in the stomach, and after you put on so much fake blood, it starts to dry up, and then it's cold.
They use packs.
Huh?
What do they use for fake blood? The packs?
We did kind of like a prop gag for when I initially get stabbed, but then we like cut. You know, they spray on the blood, and then you kind of hold this sponge, and as you squeeze on the sponge, more blood actually comes out.
So you got to squeeze it and act like
but it's cold. You know,
Yikes.
you don't warm up fake blood, so you just and then it starts to dry and it gets crusty. So that might actually be more cringeworthy than being underwater. But yeah.
So, would you do another scary movie?
Yeah, I do one.
Definitely.
I ain't doing nothing with like demons and. I'm not doing demons.
Not doing demons.
I won't do that.
Yeah,
don't do
okay.
that. You don't want that energy.
No.
You don't want that energy at all.
Okay.
I fear God too much to be doing devil work. So,
Right.
yeah, that's not me. Plus, too, like a lot of those films, like The Exorcist and things like that, or Poltergeist, like there's been stories of actual rare supernatural events happening.
Wow, filming?
Or actors not being able to break that. Yeah, because what we do as actors, and a lot of people may say, oh man, acting's easy, like I could do that, but really if you're giving it your all and you're transforming yourself within your roles, you know, you dedicate yourself to that role and you got to believe it, because if I believe it, then you guys believe it. Well,
Exactly.
I'm supposed to be quote unquote possessed. I got to give myself to that or do the research. I ain't having that in my life.
Yeah.
Nope. You ain't about to introduce that to me. Sorry.
Dang.
No.
Right.
Dang. Okay, so on me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, in terms of like the acting industry, what are some good advice and tips in terms of hustle and really working?
You got your phone on during the interview?
Oh my gosh, I thought it was on silent.
I thought that was BTS guy.
I am so sorry.
Go ahead though.
Oh yeah, so tips and advice for working actors or aspiring actors getting in the industry in terms of hustling and really getting roles. What is some advice and tips?
First and foremost, there's no blueprint to the acting game at all. There really isn't. I got started when I was 10, and I'm very thankful to get started at that age, because if I were to do that now, I don't know, to be honest with you. Okay. It's a little bit different when you got to provide for yourself, as a man or a woman outside of the house, like what you got to do for survival. You know what I mean? Whereas when I got started at 10, there was like a luxury of finding out the craft, having that time to explore it. So I always advise to anybody, like, set yourself up for success, not failure. Meaning, like, save some money, make sure you have a decent plan. If you got to work a second job, you got to work a second job. If you got to work a third job, you got to work a third job. Most entrepreneurs of any type of business will tell you should have several streams of income coming in. And a lot of times that doesn't stop with your 9 to 5. Once you get off, you got all of these hours in between when you fall asleep. What are you going to do with those hours? You know, Rick Ross, I was watching this interview with him and Joe Budden, and he talks about like why MMG was always on the forefront. It's because he was like, never leave any money on the table. You know, if I know that I'm right now chilling at home with the homies, or I'm, you know, doing extracurricular activities, whatever it may be, whatever your vice is, like if I know that same hour can be spent applying it towards my business, well then I got to get after it. And as an actor, your entire business is your being. Like your body is your business. The clothes you wear, your hygiene, how you present yourself, what's your online persona look like, what is your character like in front of people, what do people say behind you, like a lot of it is vanity.
You see how he snuck that hygiene in there? Don't be musty. Don't be
Yo,
musty,
you
y'all.
have to.
Don't be musty, y'all.
He tried to be slick with the
He did.
hygiene
Don't
comment,
be
like,
musty. Don't come here job musty.
It ain't them. It ain't them. If anything, it's me. I've been sweating today, so you know, baby.
No, it's okay.
But you know, your body is your business, and that's
It's
another
your
thing.
instrument, yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing that I had to be aware of within my own business is every single day make sure to take care of my vessel. Make sure to always sharpen your sword, for instance. You know what I mean? Like, if you're new to the game, get in acting classes. If you got an audition to do, you take that audition. Like, don't leave an opportunity on the table. Take every single opportunity, because you're going to put up shots. You're going to put up shots in this business more than you will any other business. I like to tell people, like, in the acting business, you are going to have several job interviews. You are going to get rejected so many times more.
Yeah.
If you're, you know, an architect or whatever it may be, you working like, you know, your regular whatever hustle it is, you might go in for a couple job interviews, get turned down, whatever, you'll get your job. Acting, you could go in for 3 auditions a day, get turned down on all of them, get back up the next day, and you got to get rejected again.
Yeah.
So keep going. It's not a thing that you could do for like 1 year, boom, and you good. Because anybody I found that have done like 1-2 years in the game, you know what I mean? Like it's a steady rise, and you got to know what to do each time you keep rising. Like, how do you keep that platform? How do you keep that without regressing?
Okay.
I love that.
So speaking of acting, how many times have you been featured in a movie? Is this your first feature film?
No. It's not my first feature film. Featured in, what do you mean by featured?
As far as being the main act, like the
okay. Let's see. More so this year, yes, has been more lead roles for myself. Usually I'm playing like supporting or like, you know, the best friend to the I'm always playing like the best friend to the white kid in the suburbs, you know what I mean? Because I grew up around white people, so naturally I
That's what
You
you
can
know.
play
That's
those
what you do. You're
roles,
familiar
yeah.
with it.
It's my vernacular. It's how I talk. It's
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, you're like a black white kid. I can't quite figure you out. You're like Donald Glover. Oh my God, you're so educated.
Oh, clever.
Yeah. Which is a compliment though, because dudes like Donald Glover and Jordan Peele are paving the way for what I kind of want to do. Is like,
Yes.
my whole initiative in the game is I've seen so many examples of black men and women who come from poverty or the struggle, or I'm tired of like slave movies and all that stuff.
Oh, I was just
where
talking about
that.
that with my
Is
friend.
the general scope of Hollywood, or what they like to picture
Portray,
us as.
yeah.
I came from a good family. Like, my parents worked as immensely to make sure that me and my siblings didn't have to go through the same struggle. Like, we grew up good. We had money in the house.
How many
Like,
siblings you have?
food on the table. I got an older brother and an older sister.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like, I came from a good home. And I want to represent what that is. Like, what does it mean for black people to come from affluence and be able to handle everything that they can handle? What does it mean to just be like a black nerd? Like, we're starting to see new shades of
More
that
genres,
within
yeah. I love it.
in media and entertainment. But I think we need more of that, because that was me growing up, and I didn't have enough examples of that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So then I had to identify with my own blackness, and then to discover it's like, yo, I could be as nerdy and talk about NASA as I want, and I could also rock the fresh J's and Mac on your chick too. So it is what it is.
And that's a period.
Speaking
That's
of,
a period.
so you getting on macking on chicks and the whole race thing. I love it.
Uh-huh.
So do you have a preference when it comes to dating women?
No, I'm gonna keep it 1,000% real with you. I don't. What my god sister would like to say is I'm an unconditional lover, meaning like,
Oh, me too.
well, there you go. Shut up. But you know, my first girlfriend, she was white. Like I've dated pretty much a spectrum of it. I just had this talk the other day with my co-star, and it's not for nothing. It's not like I'm purposely seeking a specific race. To be honest, I love women. Like I love all different shades, whatever it may be. For me, it's about who the person is. And then there's always an issue of, oh, okay, well then I got to bring you around my family, and oh, well, what is my family gonna, and all that stuff. I had to throw that out of the wind. And to be honest, it got to me with some of my first real serious relationships. You know what I mean? When I bring a white girl home or a Latin girl home, and it's like, oh, there goes
Harpo, who that white woman?
there goes Denzel again. You know what I mean? Like that. But it is what it is. And to be honest with you, on the same respect, is like, I don't discriminate what race it is that I choose to date. But I do have an innate desire within me to also represent my culture the best way possible. Because you ain't about to strip me of my blackness, and you ain't about to have me out here like acting like I don't know where I came from.
Wow.
I enjoyed it. It's the whole complex to me, or at least what I want to continue to portray in media, is it's cool to be educated. It's cool to sit at the table and be the only black person there. And guess what? I love my damn fried chicken and watermelon, and you gonna have me represented the same exact way. And whoever I show up with, she might like it too. And she ain't about to call me out and have me dressing up like some Uncle Tom. No, that's not about to be it. I'm gonna be me, but I'm also love all. I've never had a problem not fitting in with a social circle. In fact, I kept more diverse social circles than just like a secluded one race or entity like that. You know, we had this one table back in my high school we used to call Little Africa, because there was maybe only like 20 to 23 black people within the entire
There's
my
always
entire
that.
high
There's
school.
always that one table.
I
I even had that at one table at my middle school and high school.
We
Little
call it Little
Africa. Yeah, we
Africa.
call it Little Africa.
But they were mad at me because I never wanted to hang just at the table. Like, I'm floating from here to here to here to here, and that's how I've always been. So you can't contain that. Like, I love my culture. It is what it is, and I'm gonna date whoever I want to date. And somehow, some way, the complexities of all that, you're going to see what the new black is in America, whatever we want to call that.
You have any crushes on any celebrities that you would, to this day, if mine is Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
Queen.
That's a good question, man. No. To be honest, that's a fantastic question. Because I always used to have celebrity crushes, and I wish I had more, but I don't.
I do.
Let's
I can
see.
line them up. Indeed. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, if you were to pick something out, like what's my girl's name from Fresh Prince back in the day? Nia Long.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna say
Who?
the little
Tatiana
sister.
Ali.
Yes, Tatiana.
Oh yeah,
Ali.
no. Oh my God. Yo,
I love her.
She's gorgeous.
I gotta
I
check
love
her
her.
out. I don't know what she looks like now, but
So
I gotta check her
Ashley,
out.
bro. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Ashley.
Yes.
We put her on the list. We put Nia Long on the list. You know what I mean? Selma Hayek used to be a jam of mine when she was in what's
What's her name?
Selma Hayek.
Ooh,
The
gotta see a
old
picture.
school Tarantino Robert Rodriguez film, They Die by Dawn. No, it's not They Die by Dawn. I'm sorry. From Dusk Till Dawn. If you ever seen her in there where she had the whole snake dance and she dancing on top of the table, woo!
Gosh. You see what you did, Cedric? You see what you did?
Hey.
Let's get back on topic.
You know what I mean? Come on, yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about the great debaters
Uh-huh.
and training day. Now, what was your experience like for both sets? Like, how was it?
Training day, I was very novice to the business. That was actually my first role. It
I
was
know you
supposed
started
to
off
be
as a background actor and
Yes.
then was moved up to
exactly
more important. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
You know, I did my research.
I see. Good work. But yeah, that literally was my first role. So more of that was me stepping on set and being exposed to everything. And I'm
Yeah.
not really know how a set is supposed to run. And I'm just excited. It's free food, and I meet Denzel Washington at the time. And again, I don't understand the magnitude of who he is. I'm
Right.
10. What do I
do
know
you-
about acting? What do I know about the business?
Right.
I'm just happy I don't got to go to school.
Yeah.
And I know I'm in the hood, and it's like, okay, well, don't get shot.
Right. And this is my chance.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that experience, and I remember it being a long process. It was a long day, and I was getting used to set hours, and from then on, I went to do 2 years of background work afterwards. So that was just kind of like breezing me into the business.
Background work. What do you mean?
Like background talent. So somebody who it's how would you say? I don't want to say crowd filler, but supplementing the world, the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Whether it's somebody walking by or sitting in the
like
stands.
extras.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, they call them extras, but
Okay.
background talent, background casting, many different names.
Gotcha.
Extras. So that for me was just like getting into the world, and then Great Debaters, still
Amazing
hands
movie.
down.
Amazing movie.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Still, thank you. One of my favorite films, to be honest with you, and probably one of my prized work experiences on set, just because it was like that. Again, we went to debate camp, and then I remember like the first week, like Denzel got on us about like what it means to know our lines and to show up, because we had our lines.
Right.
We're all
I'd get it together quick.
we
I'd
were
be
all
like, "Yes, sir."
prepared, but I remember we did the first rehearsal, and he said, "So none of y'all know your lines. What are you gonna do on Monday?" It was like we all went home and we had
Straight
to
like
train.
that? Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I would do it too. Veteran
No.
in the game, like, come on now, y'all.
That's the wonderful thing, and I'm so thankful to this day, is that Denzel was an incredible mentor in
I
my
was
life.
just gonna ask you. It's so crazy how our questions are blending in. I was just
Oh,
gonna
bro.
ask you that.
Listen, man.
How was that?
The first week of filming, I remember he came up to me because there was one scene I had in particular where I'm getting ready for debate tryouts. I'm putting on the aftershave, I'm getting ready to go see Miss Book, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey man, less is more." And so I tried again. He's like, "No, less." And from then on, he was like, "Yeah, that's the right take. Keep doing that. It's all about the shades of gray. Life isn't just black and white. It's the shades of gray. It's the little nuances in between." And from that, he really started training my eye on what film acting is, what on-camera theatrical acting is, because I come from a world of doing sitcom and sketch comedy, from doing all that. So it was a little bit more out there when I was doing Nickelodeon and all that, to then bring the performance
The
down.
energy is a little higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's a little bit more,
A little just up there and out. Yeah.
buffoonery.
Come on, buffoonery. I
which,
love it.
which I love it, and it's good for
Yeah.
the kids. But you know what I mean? Like as an adult transitioning, I gotta bring it down some.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see the transition. I would like to
Great
see
Debaters was that transition for me.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, you.
And then I always started to ask him questions on set, and he started noticing this curiosity within me. And he bought me my first camera, got me a director's viewfinder. He said, "Bring a sketch pad every single day or a book, and bring your chair right next to me, and I'm gonna teach you what I know about directing and acting." So I show up every day, and he had a whole bunch of quotes, and I was just starting like a little diary of everything that he would tell me. To even when we wrapped the film, he would invite me to the editing bay, show me how the film's cut, show me how they like put in temp score, and then how they go to the actual sound stages, different things like that. And he persuaded me to go to film school. So he really has been monumental with my transition from in front of the camera to behind the camera, and also just elevating everything that I do theatrical wise with my acting. And ever since then, I've been able to find the nuances since. And it was like after that first week, I snapped into it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so this is what acting is about." And once that snapped for me, it broadened my horizons.
He wanted you real well-rounded.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I love that.
You're thrown in with like Denzel, you're thrown in with Forrest, with Nate, with Journey, with Jermaine. You're thrown in with all of these people who have this immense amount of talent, on top of everybody who is supporting within that film as well, to then be like, "All right, sink or swim." The fact of the matter that I can walk away from that film or even be recognized at NAACP for Best Supporting Actor, which I'm still still shocked about. You know what I mean? Like the fact that it is a testament to how much I had to rise to the occasion, but how instrumental all of those pieces were to my development. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for it, man.
Life is crazy.
It's the first time I've flown on a Fluke jet. Learjet. First time I was on a Learjet, I had lobster and crab and all that stuff. It was great.
So for the people who don't know about how you got the Best Supporting Actor, could you explain to them the role that it was that you played that got you that award?
Yeah, it was Great Debaters, and I won for Best Supporting Actor at the NAACP Awards. I forgot what year it was, and I was going up against Tyler Perry,
Wow.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I think Nate was also in there.
Okay.
And I forgot who else I was going up against, but yeah, I didn't think I was gonna. I mean,
He was
I didn't think I was gonna win.
What is that? What is that Halle Berry
Right.
meme where she won that? She was like,
Yo,
"Yes, you."
like I was frozen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was frozen in my seat, and when they called my name, I thought I literally thought I misheard something. Maybe I thought I wanted to win, but no, they called my name, and I walked up there. I almost tripped. That's how excited I was. I was walking up the stage, and I was like, "Oh boy, don't trip, don't trip." Okay, I got to help myself. Yeah.
Did they play the scene that it was that got you it, or it was just over the course of the whole movie?
They didn't play the scene. They just played the movie. I think Denzel won that year too. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, it was a special time, bro. It was a real special time.
I love that. So I want to talk about the movie that you're shooting here on campus, the freshman year.
Yeah, yep.
So what can you tell us about your character, or what can we expect from the movie per se?
Sure. So, kind of almost aligns with my initiative. I'm playing this character named Andre, who pretty much grows up in this predominantly white suburb, and you know, he plays basketball, and he's immensely talented, which is not me in real life. I don't play sports. Disclaimer for anyone who watches the movie: don't be calling me.
Right.
Oh my God, the extras are showing up every single day, and they're like, "Yo, man, let's ball, bro."
That's
I'm
me.
acting.
I'm on the basketball team.
acting.
You sure were
I'm on the
extra. You
basketball
were
team.
extra on it,
with him.
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Jeez.
Yeah.
I love
So-
it. I love it.
But he's immensely talented, and he has all of the how would you say? He has all of the I'm searching for the word. All of the potential in the world in the world to be one of the greats. But he has an injury that pretty much ends, you know, his chances of getting into the school he really wants to. Kind of puts him in a slump. His grades are already in the hole, and his mom ends up sending him to Pride Valley, which is this fictional school, which we've been shooting here at Prairie View. And, you know, he gets to Pride Valley, and he's got this ego. You know, he's like, oh, man, you know, what do I need to be here for? I don't really care about my grades. I just want to play ball. And the dean really gets on him and is like, no, shape up, you know, understand what it means to be here, understand what it means for your heritage. And it's really a culture shock for him, because now he's going to this HBCU and he's never been around his culture before. And so that's why I say it's kind of like my own personal initiative, where it's like he's thrown into the pit, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, Andre got swag. Oh, okay, he gets a taste of what it's like. Oh, okay, he's got this, you know, dark skin, you know, beautiful thing that he's like chasing after. Oh, okay, you know. But within that entire experience, it humbles him, and he finds his voice. He finds his stride.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm so glad to have him here.
Right.
Okay.
So who plays the dean?
Oh yeah, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Woo! I
Yep.
seen her. I was scared to
I
talk
got
to
a
her.
picture with it.
I was like,
yeah.
You should. No, she's sweet. She's super sweet.
I did. When she first got here, she got the car. She was talking to Jajaun and Koyo. She was like, "Hey, what's up?" Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Hugging on, speaking to him. I was like, little on me was like, "Hi, Cheryl."
No, she's super sweet. I promise you. In fact, a good friend of mine, Etienne, is her son. So I knew her like a little bit. Like I had been over the house, like kind of met her, but I don't think we really like knew each other like that. So it was cool to finally put up scenes with her.
Right.
And again, for me, it's always working with greats or again sharpening me as an actor. You know what I mean?
So she gave you tips.
It's more like, look, you play, right?
Yeah.
So if you playing basketball and you playing against somebody who's great, what does that do for you?
Okay. Yeah. It lets you.
It sharpens your
you
skill
up, 'cause
set,
you
right?
want a higher, yeah.
Because for me, it's like, you know, I could work with all the other actors, and the other actors have been phenomenal as well. But here we are in this indie film where, like, I'm put in a position, number one, on the call sheet where I can actually give back the same way Denzel had gave to me so long ago. I can teach, you know, some of the younger ones who are less experienced, like, hey, this is what you do, these are the camera setups, et cetera, et cetera. So then when Cheryl comes in, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, let me strap on my boots again, let me get back on my grind, like, we getting serious. And even within those scenes, like, I felt this immense energy and this shift where it was like, okay, well, let me take what you just gave me and then give that back. And so it's always you're paying it forward, you know what I mean? generationally or paying it forward just experience-wise.
Did you guys do any type of improving, like back and forth?
Oh man, she almost improv her whole scene, like, cause
Really?
that's the thing,
She's
like
that good.
once you know the roots of the scene and once you know what our characters stand for, go play ball. Like Vincent, the director, is not precious about any of the dialogue, and most directors I've worked with aren't precious about the dialogue. It's really like just go. You know what I mean? Like if you know the character, what is this character going to say? What are you going to say to me that's going to impact me? You know what I mean? And she had this immense amount of pride that she carried, and this love for HBCUs that she wanted to impact on her character alone. So we sat there and maybe within a couple minutes, almost kind of like jazz, almost kind of like freestyle rap, and it was like, oh, word, so that's what you gonna do? That's what I'm gonna do? Okay, well, yeah, let's do that in the wide, and then we go
back
cover
and
it.
forth.
Man, that's the fun to me.
That is
like,
the fun part. That's the best part
jazz,
of acting.
It gets competitive. Huh?
Jazz and acting
It
is
gets
great.
competitive.
But it gets competitive, but where the mastery comes from is I know she needs to shine in this moment. I'm not here to overstep your moment.
Right.
And in fact, anything, come down on me and make me feel smaller than, please, I welcome it all. Insult the shit out of me if you need to. You know what I mean? Like, I will take that because that's what my character's supposed to be. And that, within itself, once you know the roles of your characters, like, let it fly, you know?
Right.
So I heard you talking to Koyo, and I overheard that you had a clothing line. Can you, besides filmmaking and acting, so what are your other endeavors?
So I founded a company in 2013 called Black Mouth Entertainment, and it was my gamer tag when I was young. It's what everybody kind of called me by, and then I got my logo. You know what I mean? It's like the little dude with the hat on, and those were things I used to tag, and it was like part of me. So when I founded my company, it was like, okay, well, what are the roots, or what am I going to stand for? And I merged those two together and created this company called Black Mouth Entertainment. And really, what I'm all about is some of my favorite films are Jurassic Park and Back to the Future. And I'm all about imagination. And I feel like the longer we retain youth and innocence, that's how we tap into our imagination. Like kids, when they, play in the field or make believe, like they're not worried about ego or anybody judging them or anything like that. It's only when we get older do we feel afraid to really leap and bound within our careers or our pursuits, especially artistry. So I want Black Mouth to always stand for immortality through youth and imagination. And with that, we shoot music videos, short films, developing features right now. And yes, clothing is a part of it. Like I've designed some merch, but I want my merch to be fly. Like, you know what I mean? Like I got a champion / Black Mouth jersey. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Shirts, different things like that. And I'm still working it out. It's a work in progress. Because like any new endeavor in any new business, you got to learn like what are these textures? How are these shirts made? Like how do you deal with overhead costs? But it's really sharpened my business acumen. To be able to handle my own, because now I'm not just thinking about myself as an entity, I'm thinking about a brand. And now branding as a whole, now I'm always thinking about the business, and now thinking of business as a whole, now I can convert that to my acting and filmmaking, and it's always, again, what are those different streams of income, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be, I want to be around for a while, you know what I mean? Like, all of the people I admire have done very well for themselves by always self-propelling themselves. And as Shaq recently said, and he got this literally from Jeff Bezos, is like, find ways to be of service to other people and watch what that does for not only your net worth, but watch what that does for your legacy as a whole. You know what I mean? So that's, again, in my business, like how can I best service other people, but also, create something for myself and create something for Black Mouth where we withstand the test of time. So when I pass, names is still ringing on. The Egyptians say you die twice. When your body passes on this earth, like when your soul detaches from your body, and then when people stop saying your name. And so I'm trying to have my name said
On
way
everybody's
longer
mouth.
than when you know what I mean?
I love it.
It is what it
I like
is.
it.
I do too. Well, that's time, guys.
That's it for the day.
Yes.
It is.
Make sure you go check out the freshman year. It's coming out sometime next year in 2020.
Definitely.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, at Blackmouth on the Instagram, because I don't really deal with all the other profiles. If Instagram were to die tomorrow, I don't know where y'all catch me. But just look up Blackmouth, blackmouth.com. That's how you get a hold of me if y'all want to collaborate. Just holler at your boy. Other than that, I appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. Sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for the platform that I could stand on. And if I could inspire and touch somebody or at least, you know what I mean, like challenge somebody to be great, that's really my initiative. So I just want to send love to everybody. Send love, spread love. We need more of it in the world.
All right.
Oh wow, I love that.
All right, guys.
All
Signing
right,
out.
see you.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Red Table Talk.
Right.
All right.
That's
That's thumbnail right there. That's
Let's do it.
You're so funny.